everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm the City Witch. Today's video I'm going to be talking to you about signs, symbols and omens. Before we get started though, I apologise if you can hear the rain. I have the window open because it's quite a stuffy day and it's raining, so if you hear the pitter patter on the window, I'm so sorry. So, signs, symbols and omens. So if you're a brand spanking new practitioner to the craft, you're going to be extremely excited and, anticipating seeing all the results from your spell work, your rituals, and what you're trying to manifest. And that's fantastic, guys. Enthusiasm, focus, and all the positive energies of looking forward to seeing something manifest is great for helping you manifest what it is that you want. However, I do get a lot of my own students that have a small problem with they'll see one tiny little thing in their lives change and they will be adamant that their spells, their rituals are working. The thing is, what you need, guys, is consistency. And that's what I want to talk to you about. So, signs, symbols and omens, they are things that come to us and help us acknowledge that things are starting to change and develop, and that we are able to manifest what we want, and that all the energies are working towards that goal for us, and we do start to see things move and change. That's great. But in order to know that something is a true sign, a true omen to what you're looking for, you have to have consistency. So what I mean by this is, say you've done a spell to get yourself some more money in your life, for example. Say that you've fallen on hard times, you've got some bills to pay, so you did some spells to manifest some money in your life, and then your granddad gives you an exceptional amount of money for your birthday. That probably isn't a sign on its own that your spell is manifesting. So you probably get all excited and go, oh my god, my granddad usually only gives me 20 quid, but he's giving me £100. Oh, my spell is working. He never does that. Could just be that he had extra money lying around. Could be that he's been a bit more generous. It could be because maybe he's got too much money in the bank and he's just spreading the love a little bit. Could be that maybe he realised he didn't spend as much on you at Christmas or something. Or it could just be that he's being kind. There's lots of reasons why people choose to do things out of character. So one sign on its own isn't proof that your spells, that what you're working towards is manifesting. What you want to do is look for consistency. So that could be one sign, but I wouldn't acknowledge it on its own. But then say within the same day, you get a phone call from the tax man saying, we've miscalculated and we owe you a couple £100 back in tax. That's where I'd go, oh, okay, that's two unusual things related to money now that's happened in a short space of time. I'm going to take note, but again, I wouldn't necessarily assume this is proof that your spell, your manifestation is starting to manifest and work. But then say a couple of days later, you get a phone call from your boss and he offers you extra shifts at work, and that obviously is going to generate more income. That's a third sign. So at that point, I would be going, okay, I'm listening. I'm taking note. I'm starting to see things moving now. And then say that leads to more responsibility in work. And then your boss pulls you in the office and says, you did a fantastic job covering these shifts. I'm really pleased with your work. I'm going to give you a bonus. Or I'm going to give you a reward, or you've won a competition at work for being such a good employee, and it's some kind of money or check or some vouchers or something, and those vouchers can be, say, put towards money or rent or tax or whatever. And you start to think, okay, so that's a fourth sign now that's come to me in a short space of time. And then let's say, the fifth sign is the biggest one of all. You get offered a promotion. This is where you start to go, okay, my spell is manifesting. I am seeing not one, not two, not even three, but 5 signs of money coming to me, of increased prosperity, and this is going to lead to more wealth down the line and make me more financially secure. That's when you would know that your spell is working and manifestation is begun, and it's happening, and it's doing these things for you in order to help you get what it is you asked for. So let's say that we're not talking about a spell or a ritual. Say like we're just going about our everyday business and you have something really peculiar happen, like a butterfly comes in through the window and floats around your living room while you're trying to watch TV, and you go, oh, it's a sign, I need to look up what the butterfly means, it's clearly an animal totem reaching out to me. It might not be. And also, consistency, guys, just to clarify, means that you'd have to have a number of things happen to you regarding the butterfly. So not just have, say, you know, something else completely random, unrelated happen. So you see a badger cross your path, or, you know, you're coming home late one night and a rabbit hops out in front of you. They are completely different animals that have completely different meanings, so they would not be a general sign from nature and would not be a totem animal reaching out to you and trying to get your attention. If a spirit of some kind or a force in the universe around you is trying to get your attention, trust me, they will get your attention, and they will make it very, very obvious. At first it might be quite subtle, but then eventually they'll start slapping you in the face with this sign, this symbol, this omen, and it'll be pretty much the same thing over and over. So what I mean by this, going back to the butterfly, is that this butterfly that came in through your living room window and hovered around in front of you and annoyed you while you're trying to watch your favourite TV show, you might show it out, catch it, release it in nature, and then go about your day. And then you might not see any other symbols of the butterfly, meaning that was not a symbol or a sign. But if it was a symbol or sign, later that day you might be watching telly and an advert comes on. That advert might be advertising a new bedding, and the bedding is covered with butterflies. Then you open your favourite book and it starts talking about butterflies. Or you are listening to a song and the butterfly is used as a reference. Or you're doing the washing and a t-shirt has some kind of butterfly logo or symbol on it. Can you see now how you're starting to see a pattern that's consistent through a short amount of time? That would mean the butterfly is a totem animal who's trying to tell you something, because you're seeing all of these things in a short space of time that are all consistently about a butterfly. So at that point, it's good to reference how these things came to you, in what formats they came to you, and if it was the actual living creature, the butterfly, what the creature was actually doing. So obviously, the first reference I gave you was hovering and annoying you in front of the telly and blocking your view of the telly, distracting you, and it was floating around your living room. So the pattern, you know, the direction it chose to go in could be a reference to what the message is. What it did, its behaviours, its mannerisms, if it was out of character for the animal, should be taken note of as well. And also the colours and the type of butterfly could also be something you might want to reference. So sometimes it's worth kind of going, okay, I'm seeing this butterfly but I'm not seeing anything else, so it's not an omen, but I'm going to take note of what it did, what it looked like, what species it is, and remember that for later. And if I start seeing more symbols of the butterfly, I know it's an omen. I know some spirit, some force out there is trying to reach out and tell me something. So it's super important to understand these consistencies in the craft. It's super important to take note of these things. And for those of you out there probably watching this and going, what is she going on about? As you start to get into your craft and you start to work towards spells and making change and obviously benefiting your life for the better, because let's face it, you become a witch primarily not just because you're called to it, but because you want to be able to create change in your life and you want to do it for the better, which isn't selfish. It's just that you can't work on the world around you unless you work on yourself first. So being able to do that means that you're going to want to do spells, that you're going to start working with forces out there, such as, you know, the animal kingdom, the elemental kingdoms, angels, daemons, fairies, dragons, you know, all these other forces that you're going to start calling in, or even some deities, some gods and goddesses that you've chosen to work with, or just universal energies, the planets, the star signs, numerology. There's going to be a lot of subjects that you're going to start covering as a new practitioner, and all of these are going to give you lots of amazing information and techniques, but they're also going to talk to you about watching out for signs and symbols that what you're asking for, what you're working towards is manifesting. And that gets you very excited, because then one thing happens and you go, oh, it's working, oh my god, and you get really, really excited. But it's got to be consistent. So what I'm hoping to give you through this video, guys, is just a little bit of some tips and clues on what to look for. So as I say, you know, 3 completely unrelated but, you know, strange things happening is not a sign, and it's not an omen, and it's not any force out there trying to reach out to you. It has to be consistently the same thing. So in the sense of, say, you put on a piece of jewellery and say the chain snaps, you know, say it's a necklace and the chain snaps during the day, you know, I wouldn't think twice about that. I'd be upset, probably annoyed. I'd have to go out and buy a new chain, but I wouldn't really think too much about that at the time. But then let's say your favourite bracelet breaks and then the beads go all over the floor. Then say your watch stops. These are all pieces of jewellery that you're wearing throughout the day, and all of them have had misfortune happen to them. At that point I'd be going, okay, I need to cleanse. I've got some bad juju attached to me and it's causing all my favourite things to break. So that would be a sign, a symbol, an omen, because they're all related to things that I'm personally wearing. They're all jewellery related items and they consistently were breaking or going faulty or something going wrong with them. So that would be a pattern or a sign. So I might need to look that up. The other thing I want to mention in this video, guys, as well, is that what one symbol or omen or sign means to me might not mean the same thing to you. And to begin with, you're probably gonna buy books on symbols and signs and omens and start to figure things out. You might even Google them, and Google's great for that, guys. Sometimes I don't know something, so I will Google it and figure out what it means or get some information on it to begin with, and then I might go deeper into referencing it later to figure out a little bit more. But whatever you've studied in the craft, whatever culture you have, can have an impact on how you perceive a symbol. What I mean by this is, in Native American culture, for example, the snake is revered as a fantastic, phenomenal healer. It represents great transformation and rules the element of fire, but it's also an animal that's gifted a lot of respect. So, quite a strong symbol. But in witchcraft, we refer to it as being the salamander. Yes, it's still related to fire, but we can see some insidious symbols with that. Sometimes it represents poison, sometimes it represents healing. So can you see how the two cultures already have some differences? And then to me personally, I love snakes, but my best friend is terrified of them. So if she saw a snake, she'd freak out. To her, it would be a bad symbol and she'd want to get rid of it. So sometimes the way you feel about something, sometimes your cultural upbringing has an impact on what a certain symbol or an animal represents to you. But then also go a bit further and look at other cultures and references, and some of those actually say, well, if the animal or the spirit was doing this, it means this, and you'll be able to look that up and understand it fundamentally a little bit more. And also, when you're reading this information, my advice is whatever resonates to you. So when you read it, you literally go, it's that. Your gut instinct tells you it's that. That's what that animal, that symbol or sign is trying to tell you. So stick with that and always follow your gut instinct. Never just go on what someone else tells you. It's great to post on Facebook pages, you know, oh, I saw this, what do you all think, or what's your opinions? But your own opinion and your own perception of that symbol is what matters the most. What one symbol means to me probably won't mean the same to you. And what you've researched, what you've studied, what you've learned is going to impact how you perceive that symbol, is what I'm trying to say. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm rambling today, guys. I'm super sorry if I am. But I just wanted to give you some information on signs, symbols and omens, and hopefully clarify a few things, especially for you beginners out there that are just getting into the craft, all excited. I don't want to put you off, and I don't want you to sit there and go, oh, so that sign I got yesterday wasn't actually a sign. I don't want you to think that. What I want you to think is it might potentially be a sign, but don't guarantee and convince yourself it is until you see more consistent signs coming through. When you see consistency and it's happening on a regular basis and it's developing the situation, that's when you can safely start to say, yes, what I wanted is starting to manifest, or yes, this is an omen or a symbol coming through to me from some force that I personally work with. And then breaking down what that force is as well is quite important. So if you don't work with animal magic, but you're seeing a lot of animal symbols, it could be that the animal kingdom is finally reaching out to you. Could be that you're ready to start working with animal magic. Could be that you have some totem animals that are trying to go, hey, I'm here, I want to work with you, it's time to include me in your craft. So think outside the box a little bit, do a little bit of research, be open-minded about what might come to you, and even if it's not something you're studying or interested in your craft right there and then, could be something to explore a little bit later on, or it could be time to evolve your craft a little bit into some other techniques and start including some new magic and some new spiritual ideas into your path. So don't be too rigid, be open to ideas, look for consistency, and above all, have fun with your craft, enjoy it, and I'm sure all your spells and your hopes and dreams will come true, guys. Manifestation takes time and practice. I do have a separate video on the law of attraction and manifestation, and that could be really helpful to help you work through problems that are coming your way, recognise how things start to change and change your vibration for the better in order to help you manifest things. So if you're interested in that, I'll pop the link below. I will do a video on animal magic and totems if you like, so if you like that, leave me a comment. As always, give me that thumbs up because, you know, YouTube needs you to tell me that you like my stuff. Click the bell so that YouTube will actually tell you when my next video comes out. As always, I'm on all various forms of social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I am also on Patreon, so for those of you out there that choose to support me, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. So be good to each other, and I'll see you very soon. Blessed be.